Okay. Hi, thanks for joining us for our financial training ground pop-up after graduation, work, or college. I'm Gabby, and this is Lynette. We're part of the community engagement team at Horizon Credit Union. Today's content is brought to you by It's a Money Thing, a Horizon Credit Union partner. Just some quick housekeeping notes before we get started. Everyone has been muted upon entry, and we are recording today's webinar. Please feel free to use the chat option to participate and to ask any questions that may come up. Also, if your path includes college, stick around for Part 2, Student Loans 101. There are many directions that you can take after graduating from high school. We're going to take some time to explore some of those options and walk through how thinking about your decision will affect your financial future. One of the most important things to remember is that this is a journey and it's your journey. The direction you choose is going to be different from that of others around you. Make sure the path you choose is right for you and your goals. It's important to compare all your options before deciding which path to pursue. What you choose to do after high school sets the path for your future. One option is to further your education by attending college. That might be at a college, university, trade school, online courses, apprenticeships, workshops, or anything in between. Higher education gives you access to higher paying jobs, but degrees can be expensive. So you need to make sure you understand what lies ahead and how you'll be paying for your education. Another option is to get a job after high school. With your new income, you can be saving for other experiences and savings goals. The practical on-the-job skills you gain will help you to determine if that's a field that you want to pursue further. Depending on the industry, you may find that you need further education to advance in your career. It's important to choose the path that allows you flexibility to adapt and the opportunity to explore. When comparing the option to work or attend college, you'll want to consider the expenses involved. Working after high school might mean that you can start making money and saving money right away. But what additional expenses will you have? Transportation, gas, is there specific clothing required? Also consider where you will live. Will your parents allow you to continue living at home, or will you need to find and pay for your own place? When considering college, it's important to factor in the cost of tuition, student loans, interest, books, housing, food, and insurance and other expenses that might arise. Which path you choose may affect your savings goals. By not paying for tuition, your money can go towards other expenses and savings goals like a car, house, or travel. If you choose to go to college, it will be more difficult to save for those items because it's more difficult to hold a job while attending college. You will also need to consider that having student loans may push off your ability to save for things like a house, car, or travel. Be aware that both options are going to require an investment of time. Depending on the job you pursue and the industry it's in, it may take months or years and possibly require advanced training to work your way up in that career field. The time investment to consider when looking at college is the time it will take to get your degree. Depending on the type of schooling you choose, that can take anywhere from a few months to 8+ years. While making the decision between going to work and attending college, you'll also want to consider the lifestyle. If you choose the working option, you'll have more time and flexibility to participate in other activities after work hours and on the weekends. When attending college, you'll have less time for outside activity because your time outside of class will be used for homework and studying. Consider the style of learning that works best for you when making this decision. On-the-job training is fast-paced and requires great attention to detail so the business and the customer get what they need out of you as an employee. You'll get great experience for whichever tasks you're assigned, but in the long term, you'll have to seek specialty and management training to climb the corporate ladder. The learning opportunity you will receive in college will be more in-depth and comprehensive, which will help you advance your position in your career. Both options will allow you ample opportunities for networking. Staying active in a social circle is critical, so meeting peers, friends, mentors, and colleagues, either at work or while in college, is important. The people you meet in these situations can turn into training partners, study buddies, colleagues, longtime friends, roommates, and possibly even references for your future employment. The opportunity for career advancement is possible with both options. It's more about the industry, the path that's chosen in time that will determine how quickly you have the option to advance your career. On-the-job work experience you'll receive will look great on your resume. However, as mentioned previously, in order to advance your career, you may need to seek out formal training. Whoops, sorry guys. Higher education usually sets you up for access to higher paying jobs, and similarly, just having a degree listed on your resume may enhance your chances of a better career opportunity.
But like every path you encounter, there may be obstacles that make the journey more difficult and sometimes even longer. Let's take a look at some of the obstacles you may face when choosing between going to work or college after graduating high school. The choice is hard. We totally understand that. And that's why it's important to be confident in your decision. The fear of failure or making the wrong decision can be paralyzing. It's important to do your research and make a decision that's best for you. Don't let the fear of failing get in your way or even stop you from making a decision on what to do after high school. We've been told from a young age to learn from our mistakes. So in this case, you can learn from a perceived failure and apply those learning to future decisions you have to make. Don't let the obstacles of having lack of direction stand in your way. You're young, you don't have to know what you want your career to be yet. Go out and experience life, and that direction will come over time and after some experience. There's a reason why everyone takes entry-level classes in college, and that's because students aren't ready to say, I want to be a fill in the blank with almost any career when you're coming out of high school. And you can also gain clarity in regards to the direction of your life through work experiences. External expectations is an obstacle that you will have to overcome based on the hurdles you encounter. It's easy to be swayed by our family and friends, but if what they want for you isn't in alignment with what you want for yourself, these are families of nurses and lawyers, accountants, but what someone else enjoys doesn't mean that's where your desires are. So have a conversation with those people and express your interests and desires so that everyone is clear on your desired direction of your life. And then financial stress is something that may become an obstacle as you progress on your journey of the life after high school. As mentioned, continued education can be expensive, and the stress of having student loans may be too much. That is definitely something to consider as you make your decisions. The same financial stresses can come from jumping directly into the workforce. You may have to be okay with not making it up into upper management because you don't have a specialized degree, which means you may have to forego a certain way of life because you don't make as much. Those are some things to consider as you make your decision to work or to go to college. And as we mentioned, the course you choose is unique to you, and only you can find and determine the direction you'll take. Because the direction you take is your decision, we recommend you take some time to really get to know yourself. Create time for serious self-reflection. Journal about your values, beliefs, and goals. Try a couple of career quizzes just for fun, and talk to a school counselor or career coach. After taking the time to do these things, review your findings. Do you see yourself leaning toward one direction over another? And if you find yourself needing more, try researching careers and areas of study you're interested in. Attend relevant workshops, meetups, conferences, lectures, and other events. Reach out to potential mentors with questions. Volunteer your time. You may find a career path that's in line with one of your life's passions from volunteering. And finally, design your path. Write down multiple versions for your future. Describe in detail what you want your life to look like in 5+ years. Work backwards from your vision to map out your path. Compare your options. Which one is most flexible out of those options? And remember, your journey is unique to you. You can continue your financial journey at the Financial Training Ground on hzcu.org and explore a variety of topics, including interactive guides at the top link shown above, or create a personalized financial education playlist from the bottom link. And now we're done with that presentation. I believe we're going to move on to the next.
Yes, let's see. I'm going to stop sharing real quick, and then we will go on to the next one. Mhm. Okay. All right, so now we're going to go over student loans if you guys are considering college. So, hello again, and thanks for sticking around for the second half of our pop-up, Student Loans 101. This content is also brought to you by It's a Money Thing, a Horizon Credit Union partner. Just some quick housekeeping notes before we get started. Everyone has been muted upon entry, and we are recording today's webinar. Please feel free to use the chat option to participate and to ask any questions that may come up. So when considering using student loans to pay for your education, the first thing to understand is that your loan will either be a federal or private loan. It's important to know what type of loan you're getting into rather than just jumping into student loan debt without understanding how and when interest is accrued, when what the repayment structure is, and if there are any fees, etc. Federal student loans are government funded. Federal student loans tend to come with incentives like fixed interest rates and the ability to restructure payments based on income. These loans are more predictable because of the structure of them. It's less likely that they will change during the time that you hold the loan. As private student loans come from individual lenders like credit unions or banks. Private loans often come with a variable interest rate, which makes them a less predictable option. It's worth knowing there is this other student loan type because with a little research, you may be able to find a private loan with a lower interest rate. There are differences and risks of both that should be fully understood before you proceed with either one. Let's take a look. It's important to know how interest is charged on the loan you choose. So with a federal loan, the interest rate is set by Congress. The rate is fixed, which means it stays the same throughout the time that you hold the loan. Getting a loan with a fixed rate is easier to budget for because the payment won't change over time. With a private loan, the interest rate varies from lender to lender. It's important to do your research to make sure you're getting the best rate available. With a private loan, the interest rate is often a variable rate, which means it does change over time. And because the interest rate is variable, these loans are more unpredictable and potentially more expensive over time. Another difference is whether the loan you choose is subsidized. You might be asking what that even means. Well, let's take a look. Some federal loans are government subsidized. That means the government pays the interest on your loan while you're in school and for a grace period of 6 months after you graduate. Most private loans are not subsidized, so interest starts accumulating from the day that you take out the loan, and you're responsible for paying it even while you're a student.
So another thing to consider is what the eligibility requirements are for each loan. Each of the different type of federal loans have their own eligibility requirements, but most criteria are very basic, like being a full-time student, maintaining good grades, and some are based on financial need. Private lenders don't usually use financial need as a criteria. Instead, they'll look at things like your credit score, your debt, and may even require you to have a parent or loan cosigner. If you are among the 70% or so of students who opt to take out student loans, you will want to fill out the FAFSA form. This is the free application for federal student aid. Once this form is complete and you find out if you qualify for financial aid and whether you've been awarded the ability to apply for one of those subsidized or unsubsidized student loans, or maybe even a grant. You'll want to fill out the FAFSA form on or after October 1st. Fill this out as early as possible after October 1st or your senior year of high school because some financial aid runs out. Eligibility is good for 1 academic year. After the first time you fill out the form, you'll just need to submit a renewal form each year that you attend school. And then understanding the repayment options available with each type of loan is also great importance, excuse me. Federal loans provide more flexible repayment options and are easier to consolidate if needed. Private lenders are more rigid and offer fewer repayment options on student loans. With a student loan from a private lender, it can also be more difficult to consolidate the loan. There are several other factors to consider when deciding between a federal or private student loan. Other items to consider are the loan fees, tax deductions, spending restrictions, prepayment penalties, and borrowing limits. And as you can see, there are some significant differences between federal and private student loans. There's a lot to consider before you sign on the dotted line, so it's important that you do your research, fill out the FAFSA form, and even consult with your school counselor and your parents to determine what the best option is for your situation. Remember, your journey is unique to you. You can continue your financial journey at the Financial Training Ground on hzcu.org. Explore a variety of topics, including interactive guide at the top link shown, or create a personalized financial education playlist from the bottom link. Thank you guys so much for joining. Have a terrific day.
Thanks, guys.